Tonight we're going to create an HbA1c interactive dashboard in Tableau. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we have our data set. We're going to use the Business and Labs from the HIN 715 HbA1c database. And we're going to do HbA1c less than 8 to start. So the first thing we need to do is we're going to create a line chart that shows each measure over time, including a thicker line representing system comparison and reference line target. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to do the first thing, we're going to select 3 clinics. I'm just going to pick the top 3, click OK. We're going to do over time, so we're going to base it off of the lab date. So we're going to bring lab date here. We're just going to select just 2016, click apply. Okay, and then actually, we're going to show this filter. You see it pop up over here. In fact, we can bring the date over so you can see 2016. Right. So to see over time, we're going to want to continue with the lab date. So year here, we want to drop this down to continuous so that we have each month, January, February, March, April, all the way through December for 2016. Okay. And we want to graph the rate of HbA1c less than 8. So the first thing I did is I created a calculated field to isolate all of the HbA1c's less than 8. So you can see if HbA1c is less than 8, then it equals 1. Everything else is going to equal 0. Click end. Okay, so that's going to sum up all of those HbA1c's that are equal to 1. That are less than 8. And the next is I created to calculate the rate. We're just going to take the sum of all of those HbA1c's less than 8 flag from the previous equation. And we're going to sum the total number of records. So this is going to be the total number of records will be all the patients in the database, all those zeros included. And then this is just going to be the patients with the HbA1c less than 8. All right, click OK. So this is a similar formula as the weighted rate for, in fact, I'm going to remove that reference line for right now. Okay, so that's going to be a similar formula for what we did with BMI. Okay, so we have that. We want to see, right now we have, these are the 3 clinics combined. So let's separate those clinics out so that we can see what we're looking at. So I'm just going to drag the clinic to the color. So now our clinics have the blue is Androscoggin, the orange is Aroostook, and the red is Cumberland. In fact, I am just going to make this smaller, make it a drop down. I'm actually going to make this a drop down as well, just to save a little room. I'm going to drag the color scheme over here. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to so now we have our 3 trending lines for the year of 2016, and we want to add a target line. So right click on the axis, we're going to add reference line. And since the target is going to be a constant, we can actually add a constant line. So if you click on this down arrow, you'll go to constant. The value we want to be is 90%, so 0.9. You can see it pops up here. And the label, we want it to be a custom label where we can type out target. We're going to add in the value, close parentheses. You can see up here, you can see target 90%, and that's exactly what we want. Now, I did make a dotted green line. This is just a formatting thing that I like to stick with. All my target lines are standard green dotted. That way, all the graphs I do, people can recognize that target really quickly. But you can make that line blue or gray. You can make it really thick, really thin, and so on. Fine dotted. You can have a solid line, so on. But again, I kind of like that middle. I like making it green. Click OK, and so now you have your first line graph with your 3 clinics being graphed out in your target line. Last thing I want to do is I want to add a title. So I'm just going to double click on the title. I'm just going to type this in. So percentage of patients with an HbA1c less than 8 in 2016. And I'm going to add in, kind of do something fun. I'm going to add in the clinics. And so if you click on this little insert drop down, you can see that the clinics are right here. So you can click clinic Doesn't really say anything. It just says that's the field. I'm going to change the color to blue. And so now we have, click apply. Now automatically it's going to post whatever's in that clinic field into that title. So up here you'll see percentage of patients with HbA1c less than 8, 2016, and then the Androscoggin. And in fact, we could even change this 2016 to a year. Click apply. And now, if we were to go and change the year to 2015, you'll see the 2015 changes. If we were to change the clinics to Franklin, Kennebec, and Lincoln, you can see that those change, although it's still saying Aroostook and Franklin. Franklin must not have any data. That's probably why it's not showing. Now it only does spell out 3, so that you have to be careful because it will say one more. And so I like to keep it to 3 for that feature. If you're going to do more than 3, you may want to just type in the words. So I'm going to click all, go back to my Androscoggin, Aroostook, and Cumberland. Right, and there we go. Line graph complete. Part 1 done.